This is the strange story of a portrait that came into my possession just before the last war. That's it, up there, resplendent in a new frame. That is my grandfather, and as you can probably guess, he was a sea captain. But he's been dead for many years now. He was quite famous in his day for his fast voyages in the old sailing clippers that used to race from Australia to Britain loaded with grain. My grandfather was a staunch patriot, and if anything was written on his heart when he died, it would most certainly have been, "Britannia rules the waves." I found the portrait soon after my mother died when I was going through some of her possessions. It revived happy memories of the old boy, and more for sentiment's sake than anything else, I decided to keep the picture. And so I hung it in the sitting room of my London apartment. That was in the summer of 1940. A few months later, London began to suffer from the attentions of the Nazi bombers. And that was when I began to think that there must be something special about that picture. That night, a particularly heavy raid had been going on for some time. I was a bit of a fatalist where bombs were concerned. If I was going to be hit, I felt I'd rather be killed in the comfort of my own apartment. Well, obviously, Grandpa wasn't going to let an ordinary bomb upset him. Then, in 1944, London found itself at the receiving end of Hitler's secret weapon, the buzz bomb. Luckily, I was out early that morning. When I returned at lunchtime, there was very little left of my apartment that was recognizable. Except Grandpa. After that, I would not have parted with that picture for all the gold in Fort Knox. Much to the amusement of my friends, I now took it with me on my travels as a mascot. Perhaps I shouldn't have taken it on that trip to New York. Anyway, I did, and for my return to Britain, I was lucky enough to get a berth on board that great new liner, the United States, on her maiden voyage. She really is a magnificent ship. I had a very comfortable cabin, and as was now my custom, I gave Grandpa the place of honor. I wondered at the time what he would have thought had he known that we were about to cross the Atlantic in as many days as it would have taken him weeks. At the height of the excitement on board, when it was officially announced that the United States had captured the coveted blue ribbon of the Atlantic from Britain, I went down to my cabin for something. No ordinary strain could have broken that cord. Did my grandfather, that staunch old British seaman, find the loss of the blue ribbon too much to take? I wonder.